In this video, I'll be showing my Doors collections and ranking the 6 amazing albums by the Doors. Come on in and have a look. Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Friday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Pardon me. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Yes, this is going to be about the Doors. I'm going to be ranking their 6 studio albums, plus showing you what I have as far as a discography by the Doors. A side note before I get started, any one of these 6 albums could be number 1 at any time. In my opinion, I love every one of them. I don't think there's a bad album in the bunch. Some I prefer more than others. And again, that could change daily. Tomorrow could be a completely different ranking. Next week it could be completely different. But they've put out amazing 6 studio albums, and I love every one of them. I love every one of them. I won't be including the 2 albums without Jim Morrison. I'll be showing photos of them. And I do have a third one, American Prayer, that I'll be showing as well, which I just picked up a couple of days ago, and I really like that one as well. So the Doors. No one liked the Doors. They're a hard band to categorize. No one out there was like them in that time period. No one was like Jim Morrison. The only comparison I can think of as far as the stage presence was Elvis previous to Jim Morrison, with the leather outfit, with the stage presence. He didn't have to do much to get noticed, even though he did a lot. Jim Morrison did. You've also got keyboardist Ray Manzarek, who not only played those keyboards, he also played bass keyboards as well, because they didn't really have a bass player. They had some studio musicians playing bass, but so he filled in a lot of the bass parts. You got Robby Krieger, guitarist, who wasn't the greatest guitarist when he started out. I think he just started playing guitar not too long before the band got together, but became a very unique and unique sounding guitarist, and I think a great guitarist. And drummer John Densmore. I think Robby Krieger and John Densmore are still the only 2 surviving members of the band, if I'm not mistaken. I know Robbie's still with us because I see him on interviews and stuff. I'm not 100% sure on John Densmore, but anyway, one of the most influential and controversial rock acts of the 60s, mainly because of Jim Morrison. His lyrics, his vocals, his stage persona, his arrest record, his drug use, alcohol use. Again, his stage persona, no one like him, I don't think, back in the day that I can think of anyway, except for Elvis Presley. For their music in the 60s, it was a combination of psychedelic rock and blues rock, early versions of stoner rock perhaps, through keyboards, bass, and keyboard, guitar, and drums. Fantastic sounding albums, every one of them. The albums I have in my collection is a very rough covered copy of Absolutely Live. Lots of ringware on this one, but the vinyl sounds pretty good. It's not the best, but it sounds pretty good. The first live album by the Doors, 1970 release. Concerts held between 1969 and 1970 within several U.S. cities. Ray Manzarek plays, of course, keyboards and keyboard bass. Also does lead vocals on Closer to You. And he does some backing vocals as well. But on this one, you've got Who Do You Love? And then there's a medley of Alabama Song, Backdoor Man, Love Hides, and 5 to 1. That's all on side 1. On side B, or side A, sorry. Side B is Built Me a Woman, When the Music Is Over. Side C is Close to You, Universal Mind, and Break On Through. And side D is The Celebration of the Lizard and Soul Kitchen. Awesome stuff. I need to get one day, I don't I'm not in a hurry to, but one day I'll get a better copy of this one. But for now, I'll just keep this one the way it is. I don't have The Other Voices, the 7th album by The Doors, released 1971. The first album after the death of Jim Morrison, who died in July of 71. You got Ray Manzarek, guitarist Robby Krieger, who both shared lead vocals, and of course the drummer John Densmore. And they started the album before Jim Morrison left to go to Paris. They were hoping that he would come back, but he died in between, sadly, as part of that 27 group. You know, Mama Cass and all those other people who sadly died. Janis Joplin. I mean, it was just that was a strange time. I don't have Full Circle, the 8th album by the band, again without Jim Morrison, the second one without Jim Morrison. They did have a single, The Mosquito, but I can't speak of those albums because I've never heard them. I did get this one a couple of days ago, and I absolutely love it. It's unique, of course. It's American Prayer, and American Prayer, the 9th and final album by The Doors, following the death of Jim Morrison, of course. The remaining members put several of the tracks together that featured Morrison's spoken word on this one. And it actually won a Grammy Award for spoken word category. But musically, it's beautiful. And it's a great album. You got Awake, Ghost Song, Dawn's Highway, Newborn Awakening, To Come of Age, Black Polished Chrome, Latino Chrome, Angels and Sailors, Stone Immaculate, which is a great track to begin with, The Poet's Dream, The Move, Curses and Innovations. And then that's on side 1. On side 2 is World on Fire, which is American Night, Roadhouse Blues, Lament, The Hitchhiker, and American Prayer as well on side 2. Produced by John Densmore, Robby Krieger, Ray Manzarek, Frank Alessandro. Yeah. This is a newly remastered copy, 2018 maybe, but it's beautiful sounding album. I also love this one as well, but before I show that one, I don't have 13, the first compilation album by The Doors. Includes 13 tracks, of course, hence the title 13. Variety of songs from their 5 studio albums between 67 and 70. And I do love this one, Weird Scenes Inside a Gold Mine. I picked this one up not too long ago. A ton of tracks on this one. This is a double album. Originally released 1972. And amazing stuff. It's got all kinds of tracks on here that have been remastered in different versions of them, and I think it's fantastic. So let's get into the ranking. I've got all 6 on CD as well as all 6 on vinyl. So again, based on the side note, these could change at any time. So at number 6, Waiting for the Sun. Okay, the 3rd album by the band, recorded between 67 and 68, released in 1968. Became the band's only number 1 album, believe it or not. Hello, I Love You was a huge hit. They had a ton of songs written for the first 2 albums, but didn't have many ran out. So they kind of ran out for this one. So they had to improvise. And John Densmore said it's kind of the 3rd album syndrome, where they struggled to get enough good material to put on an album. Plus, the recording sessions were kind of difficult because Jim Morrison was his alcoholism was taking over, and they struggled to put these albums together. But you got Hello, I Love You, Love Street, Not to Touch the Earth, Summer's Almost Gone, Wintertime Love, The Unknown Soldier, Spanish Caravan, My Wild Love, We Could Be So Good Together, Yes, The River Knows, and 5 to 1. 5 to 1's a fantastic, fantastic track. But that's number 6. At number 5, a lot of people diss this album, but I love it. Again, this could be number 1 at any time, The Soft Parade. July 18th, 1969, the 4th album by the band. Most of the recording was done after a tough tour that they had. Just like Waiting, they didn't have enough material to put on the album. So the producer at the time, Paul Rothchild, suggested the band write a completely different type of album than their first 3 albums, which were more blues-based. It's a fuller sounding album, more brass, more strings arrangements. Jim Morrison was dealing with a lot of issues at the time. His focusing on poetry, plus his alcoholism and his drug use. So Robby Krieger, took over the writing duties and did a fantastic job. I think this is an amazing one. This is a 50th anniversary of this fantastic album. This copy here on the red Elektra label. Again, Tell All the People, Touch Me. Again, these were all written by Robby Krieger. Shaman's Blues by Morrison. Do It, Morrison and Krieger. Easy Ride, Morrison. Side 2 is Wild Child. Runnin' Blue by Krieger. Wishful Sinful, Krieger. And The Soft Parade, written by Jim Morrison. Fantastic stuff. Again, a great, great album. That just because it's number 5 today doesn't mean it's got to be number 5 tomorrow. Could be a different ranking altogether. The next one at number 4, Morrison Hotel. Again, 2 copies of this one. This is a anniversary edition of this album. The 5th album by the band, 1970 release. More of a return to the blues rock style of the band. I absolutely love this album. I think it's fantastic. Divided into 2 separate sides. One side is Hard Rock Cafe. The other side is Morrison Hotel. You got 2 blues rock pioneers on this one, Lonnie Mack and Ray Neapolitan. They did some bass parts on the album as well. This is a 2023 remastered version. So you've got not only the album inside here. So this is just a inner sleeve, but you got the album. Okay, and a nice black poly sleeve. And then 2 CDs in there as well. So you got the original album remastered. And then you got side 2 is, or disc 2, sorry, it's called Mysterious Union. I don't know how many tracks are on this one. 18 tracks. 19 tracks, I guess. 19 tracks altogether on that one. I love that photo. So happy to have this one in my collection for sure. Yeah, so I just could have read from this. Duh. So on side 1 is Hard Rock Cafe, Roadhouse Blues, Waiting for the Sun, You Make Me Real, Peace Frog, Blue Sunday, Ship of Fools. LP side 2, Morrison Hotel, Land Ho, The Spy, Queen of the Highway, Indian Summer, and Maggie McGill. Fantastic stuff. So that is number 4. And again, the next 3 could be number 1 on any given day. You've got number 3, Strange Days. I love that album cover. It's so unique. Strange Days. The second album by the band, 1967 release. 8 months after the original album. Can you imagine? 8 months. That's amazing. They had all kinds of material for this one. Reached number 3 in the Billboard 200 charts. Earned platinum status based on People Are Strange and Love Me 2 Times. Not quite as successful as their debut, but it became one of the band's best musically and creative albums for sure. It is fantastic. This is a remastered version of it as well. I love that back cover. Strange Days, Your Lost Little Girl, Love Me Two Times, Unhappy Girl, Horse Latitude, Moonlight Drive, People Are Strange. I sing that song every day at work. Jim Morrison had it right. My Eyes Have Seen You, I Can't See Your Face, In My Mind, and When the Music's Over. Fantastic stuff. So that is number 3. Now this next one, I know people regard this one as their best album, and some days I have to agree. This is their debut album at number 2, simply titled The Doors. What can you say about this album? It's fantastic. 1967 release. Featured the full-length versions of the band's breakthrough hit, Light My Fire, and at the other end you got The End. So 2 bookend tracks, fantastic stuff. The BBC and also Rolling Stone magazine named this album as one of the greatest debut albums of all time. Pardon me, and I have to agree. Excuse me for a second. It's an essential psychedelic rock album to have in anyone's collection. The Doors album and Light My Fire have been inducted in the Grammy Hall of Fame. As of 2015, the album itself has sold 13 million copies worldwide, making it the band's best-selling album overall. And it's listed at 42 in the 500 greatest albums of all time by Rolling Stone magazine. So, no slouch of an album. Again, it's fantastic. Fantastic. Break on through to the other side. Soul Kitchen, The Crystal Ship, 20th Century Fox, Alabama Song, Whiskey Bar, Light My Fire, Backdoor Man, I Look at You, End of the Night, Take It As It Comes, and The End. It's fantastic stuff. But this next one I've been listening to almost every day for the last week or so, and to me it's a near perfect album. If I was going to say what's a near perfect album, if I was asked that question, I'd say it's this one, LA Woman. And when I say near perfect, there's one track on here that I don't really like, that I bypass every time. So this is going to be like a 4.7 out of 5 type of thing, based on that one track. This is their 6th album, 1971 release originally. The last to feature Jim Morrison during his lifetime. Unfortunately, he would pass away 2 months after this album was released. Returned to form by the band and heavily influenced by the blues, which I think that's why I love this album so much. The reason I ranked this at number 1 is the combination of Morrison's vocal performance, the band's stripped-down return to their blues rock. I think it was recorded live in the studio. They actually had a bass player on this one, and the bass is so prominent on this album. It's fantastic. The only track that I don't think fits on this album is L'America. It's more psychedelic than the rest of the blues stuff on here, and I find myself skipping over the track a lot. But this is fantastic. Yeah, Jeff Schiff is the bass player on here. You've got the Changeling. Wow. I mean, look at the side 1 itself. It's just the Changeling, Lover Madly, Been Down So Long, Cars Hiss By My Window, LA Woman. That's just on side 1. Side 2, again, starts off with L'America. I bypassed that. But then it kicks back in again. Hyacinth House, Calling King Snake, say that 10 times fast. The Wasp, Pesker's Radio, and The Big Beat, and Riders on the Storm. It's a fantastic, fantastic album. I love it. It's number 1 to me, and that's my ranking of the Doors and all their studio albums. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.